Back here on TOIT Sports Locked-Out, nighttime in Culver City, California. Rick Strom with you. A report that came out through Sports Illustrated, we'll put the full article in the description below, is about Ray Lewis allegedly taking deer antler spray. Now, a substance within deer antler spray, it is called IGF-1, which is basically HGH. It was through a company that is called Swats, Sports with Alternatives to Steroids. Now, before we get into that taped conversation and what was said between Ray Lewis and Mitch Ross, let me educate you really quickly on Swats. They allegedly gave deer antler spray and stickers, which they basically call chips, which you put in 3 acupuncture points on your body. They gave those to LSU players prior to their 9-6 win against Alabama a few years ago, and they also gave them to Alabama players prior to the 21-0 win in the national championship game. The SI.com Sports Illustrated article outlines. They made a wide contact base in sports, which included Richard Seymour, taped conversation. Sean Merriman, taped conversation. Hugh Jackson, when he was the quarterbacks coach with the Ravens, they not only got him to supply these chips to his Ravens players, but they also got Hugh Jackson to have a testimonial that they put up on YouTube regarding SWATs and his approval of SWATs. Now, Mitch Ross, the owner of SWATs, is a former male stripper. He was a salesman at Gap. He was a personal trainer at Bally's. He also was a manager at a gym, and he is an admitted steroid user. His right-hand man, his partner, is Christopher Key. Neither of them have college degrees, and Key was arrested for trespassing after giving chips to an LSU player. Interesting. The other products that SWATs has is negatively charged water. Okay, canisters containing powder additive, those chips that I just told you about, and they also have deer antler spray, which is the product in question today. All major pro sports have sent letters to their athletes warning them about SWATs. So now, if you remember, 10 weeks ago, Ray Lewis tore his tricep muscle. The original report was that he was out for the season. However, after that game, hours after that game, as a matter of fact, according to Sports Illustrated and Mitch Ross, he reconnected with Ross, and here was the conversation that they had. This is a conversation that Ross taped. Here we go. "It's bottom near the elbow," Lewis said of the tear after asking a few pseudo-diagnostic questions. Ross concluded, "All right, well, this is going to be simple. How many pain chips you got around the house?" "I got plenty of them," Lewis replied. Ross prescribed a deluxe program, including holographic stickers on the right elbow, copious quantities of the powder additive, sleeping in front of a beam ray light program with frequencies for tissue regeneration and pain relief, drinking negatively charged water, a 10-per-day regimen of the deer antler pills that will, quote, rebuild your brain via your small intestines, and which Lewis said he hadn't been taking, then swallowed 4 during the conversation, and spritzes of deer antler velvet extract, the ultimate spray, every 2 hours. "Spray on my elbow every 2 hours?" Lewis asked. "No," Ross said, "under your tongue." Toward the end of the talk, Lewis asked Ross to, quote, "just pile me up and just send me everything you got because I got to get back on this week." So then Sports Illustrated decided to ask Ray about this, and here was the conversation that they published again in this article. So they asked him if he worked with Key and Ross during the recovery, and his answer was, "I didn't work with them personally this time." Pressed by SI, he said, "Nobody helped me out with rehab. I've been doing SWATs for a couple of years through Hugh Jackson. That's it. That's my only connection to them." SI followed up, "Did you talk to them the night of the tricep tear?" "I told him to send me more of the regular stuff, the SWATs, the stickers or whatever." SI, "Did it help?" Ray Lewis, "I think a lot of things help me." SI, "Would you suggest SWATs to other players?" Ray Lewis, "If I did, I would have said it by now." SI then asked him about the spray and the pills, and he simply walked away without comment. If you really want to prove yourself that you did not take performance-enhancing drugs, that you did not follow up and use deer antler spray, and you didn't do any of that, wouldn't you dispute it instead of walking away? I understand that a lot of Ravens fans are going to be upset with this. Some NFL fans may even be upset with this. But the fact is, actually, let me read you what he said. I won't even go into it yet. Here's what he said. "I've said it before. I've said it a million times. The reason I'm smiling is because it is so funny and absurd. I never ever took what he said or whatever I was supposed to, and it's sad that someone could have such attention on this stage." You're getting some damn good attention, by the way, Ray Lewis, especially in the postseason. I don't need it. My teammates don't need it. The 49ers don't need it. And now he's trying to bring the 49ers and everyone else into it when it's clearly his stage. And he secretly loves the media attention, you could tell. We continue. Nobody needs it. I think, honestly, and I'm going to say this very clearly, I think it's one of the most embarrassing things we can do on this kind of stage. I think it takes the focus away to entertain foolishness like this from a coward. It's sad. It's foolish. It's very foolish. The guy has no credibility. He's been sued 4 or 5 times over this same BS. Just entertaining. I can't, I won't, and I just truly believe he doesn't have the privilege for me to speak about him ever again. A few side notes when he discusses how he's been sued a few times. The Mr. Irrelevant of 2008, I believe his name was David Vabora. He played for the Rams. He used deer antler spray. He tested positive for a performance-enhancing drug. I believe it's called methyl testosterone. He was suspended 4 games. He and his lawyers sued Ross, and they wanted $4 million. They settled with 5.4. Ross, by the way, did not even hire a lawyer because he loved the publicity that Swats was getting. So even if he gets sued 1 million times, this is the kind of guy who is absolutely going to eat up the media attention that he gets in order to get his product across. Now, when this happened, he closed shop for about 6 months, then he closed shop right then, reopened 6 months under a different name, but kept doing what he is doing now. And another side note, let's just go back to Hugh Jackson for one moment. When he was still with the Ravens, he said that he gave chips to all of his players, and the players would be pissed if they didn't have them in their locker at a certain time, and they would ask Hugh, hey, Coach Jackson, where are the chips at? Where are they at? He sent Richard Seymour to Swats, and they talked to Ross, and Seymour and Ross had a taped conversation, as I outlined earlier, along with Sean Merriman and a few others. And Hugh Jackson even said to Richard Seymour, I'm going to send you to these guys, but I can't be involved. Why do you think that he would do that exactly? Because he knows that something is up. They all know something is up. What do you guys think about all this? A lot to swallow, I know. But leave all your thoughts in the comments section below. I would love to hear those. Share with your friends. Give us a thumbs up. And subscribe to TYT Sports for more sports content.